Today's episode of Aquatic Wetline is brought to you by Oasis Aquatics. Find your oasis today. Find your next fish at oasisaquaticsnj.com. Check out Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram.
Every Friday night.
Hey, can you turn that down?
Never!
Don't try this at home.
Happy Friday, Fish Keepers! Welcome to Friday Live with Aqua Alex Cardinale. I'm your host, South American and Monster Fish Keeper, Aqua Alex Cardinale. Fish Keepers, I hope you're ready for an exciting weekend and an exciting episode of Friday Live. Tonight, Aqua Alexa has facts on acclimating fish to their aquariums. So one key aspect of getting new fish is how to properly acclimate them to your aquarium. So Aqua Alexa will tell you how to properly acclimate new fish. Aqua Alex's featured fish is the Dovii Cichlid, aka the Wolf Cichlid. I have a very big Oasis Aquatics announcement to make. Our special surprise guest is cichlid lover Gabriel Gomez. The featured aquarium product is Seachem Matrix. And also tonight, my topics are going to be the most abused fish species in the aquarium hobby and the underrated fish species in the aquarium hobby. All that and more live right here, right now on Friday Live with Alex Cardinale. As always, if you have any tropical fish keeping questions, please post them down in the chat and I will answer your questions. And any fish keeper is welcome to come on the show today. Last week we had our good friend Matt LeMay come on. So which fish keeper will come on tonight? If you want to come up here and chat fish, the link is in the YouTube chat. Just click that link, that StreamYard link. Come on up and chat tropical fish with us on this fine Friday evening. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to start with a segment I call Aqua Alex Asks You. I've got a couple of questions I'm going to ask you, and you can post your answers down in the chat below, or you can come up on the studio and answer these questions on the show. Anyway, here are the questions that I am asking you. What new fish do you want to get? What is your favorite thing about the aquarium hobby? And what is your most expensive fish currently? So post your answers in the comments or in the chat, and I'll react to your answers on the show. You can also come up here and give me your spoken answers on the show as well. I'm going to begin by answering these questions. What new fish do I personally want to get? Well, obviously, I want to get African cichlids. I want to get some frontosas and some peacocks and haps, but I don't have my African cichlid tank set up yet. But I will be doing that momentarily. Really soon, I'll be setting up my African cichlid tank. But really, what I really want to get is some red hook silver dollars. I think some red hooks would be great dither fish in my 125. I'd also like to get an ornate biker. Ornate bikers are one of my favorite of the polypterus. And I'd also like to get in the cherry biker. I haven't had the chance to keep and grow out an inlet cherry biker before, so I think that would be pretty cool. And I really want to get a goonch catfish and a tigrinus catfish. What is my favorite thing about the aquarium hobby? I would have to say my favorite thing about the aquarium hobby would be watching your fish grow. Watching your fish grow into adulthood and watching your fish get big is pretty much one of the most rewarding things in the aquarium hobby. I also love the fish tuber side of the aquarium hobby. I love watching YouTube fish keepers host live streams and post interesting content, and I just so happen to be a fish tuber. And what is my most expensive fish currently? Right now, I really don't have too many expensive fish in my 125 because I'm not working at the moment. But I think my most expensive fish currently would be my NTT, North Thailand Tiger Datnoid. He's about $100, United States dollars. And then I think in second place would be my orange Xingu pike. If I'm not mistaken, I paid about $60 or $80 for him. So now it's your turn to go ahead and post your answers to those questions in the chat, or come up here on the show and answer these questions, or ask me some questions. All right, let's welcome Aqua Alexa to the show. And now Aqua Alexa is going to give us some very important facts on acclimating fish to their aquarium.
Aqua Alexa here, kicking off Friday Live with Aqua Alex. Tonight, I have information for acclimating new fish into your aquarium. The information I have will be very beneficial for you. It's always exciting to purchase new fish at the pet store to add to your home aquarium. Unfortunately, it's quite common for fish to die shortly after being brought to their new home from the pet store. While many new fish owners are quick to blame the pet store for selling fish in poor health, in reality, this untimely passing is often the result of budding aquarists not knowing how to properly acclimate aquarium fish to their home aquariums. Most people just float the bag in the tank to equalize the temperature and then dump the fish, water and all, into their tanks. Not only is this a poor way to acclimate fish, but dumping pet store water into your tank is a bad idea. Water from the pet store can contain diseases and parasites that will be transferred to your beautiful community tank at home. A slow, careful acclimatization process will give your new fish the best chance for survival in your tank, although it will not protect your other fish from any diseases or parasites that the new fish may be carrying. Here's the right way to acclimate fish to their new home. Warning: all new fish being put into a community tank should be quarantined for at least 2 weeks before adding them into your aquarium. If you don't have extra tanks to quarantine them in, you must be very observant of the condition of the fish dealer's tanks. If there are sick fish, dead fish, or ick on any of the fish in the dealer's tanks, do not buy fish there and put them in your community tank. How to add new fish to an aquarium. Open the bag. When you get your new fish home, turn down the lights to avoid shocking your new pet. Your next step should be to take off the rubber band and open the bag. Place the bag in the tank, so the water supports it. Next, roll the open top of the bag down 4 or 5 turns, so it creates a ring of air trapped in the rolls of the plastic bag. Now the bag will float on its own without tipping over. If it is still unstable, a couple more rolls might be needed. Add water from the tank to the new bag. Acclimating is a slow, steady process. To begin, dip 1/2 cup of tank water from the tank and add it to the bag. Now wait 15 minutes and do it again. This slow process will allow your new pet to acclimatize to a change in pH and temperature, as well as new nutrient levels, oxygen content, salinity, sounds, and lighting. Check water quality. Check the water quality in your aquarium to ensure it is appropriate for the fish. You should test the ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, hardness, alkalinity, pH, and temperature on a regular basis. You should only think about adding new fish to your aquarium when all of the water quality parameters are at the correct levels. Tip: adding new fish into the aquarium will increase the bioload on the filter system, so only a few new fish should be added to the aquarium at a time. This allows the beneficial bacteria in the biofilter to grow enough to remove the additional ammonia waste the new fish produce before it can build up to toxic levels. Adding many fish at once can overload the biofilter and cause fish loss from ammonia increases. Test the pH. To avoid pH, acid, base balance, shock, while the temperature is equalizing, you need to test the pH of the water in the bag and compare it to the pH of your home tank water. In most cases, for a short trip of an hour or less from the pet store to your home, there will be little change in the water quality in the transport bag. For long trips, such as when the fish are shipped from the breeding farm through the distributor then to the pet store, the fish may be in the bag for over 24 hours and up to a few days. In these cases, the pH of the water will drop because of the fish's respiration, and the ammonia level in the water will increase. Add the fish to the aquarium. Once the temperature and pH of the water in the bag are similar to the water in the aquarium, remove the fish bag from the tank and use a net to take the fish out of the bag. Add the fish into the aquarium carefully, ensuring that their fins do not get caught in the net mesh. Warning: do not pour the water from the bag into the aquarium, simply discard it. If removing the bag and its water decreases the level of water in your aquarium, add fresh dechlorinated water to top of the tank level. Monitor the fish for bullying. It is important to observe your new fish to be sure they are not being picked on by other fish in the aquarium. It is also helpful to feed your fish a small amount of food at this time so that the current fish are busy eating and less likely to bother the new fish while they settle in. Remember, it is always better to place new fish into a quarantine tank for 2 to 4 weeks before adding them to the main aquarium with your other fish. Use this same technique for introducing the new fish into your filtered quarantine tank. Preventing problems with your fish during acclimation. More new fish have been killed by pH shock than from any other problem after adding them to an aquarium. Differences in pH, while they may not sound significant, can be lethal to a fish. In fact, as little as a 1.0 difference can send your fish into pH shock. 1. This is something they may recover from, or may not, depending on the severity of the difference in pHs. The bigger the difference, the more chance of your new fish dying from it. Try to learn what the proper pH is for your fish species. Most are in the 7.0 to 8.0 range, but some like higher levels and some lower. Also, over time, the pH in the water will naturally drop due to acids produced by fish metabolism. Regularly performed water changes, 25% or more per month, will keep the pH more stable and replenish the alkalinity, pH buffering, in the water. If your local water supply is soft, low alkalinity and hardness, you may need to add an alkalinity buffer into the aquarium water periodically to maintain the proper pH for your fish. Tip: during transportation, the water in the fish bag will drop in pH and increase in ammonia. Making the adjustment to different water qualities as easy for your fish as possible will help reduce stress and losses. You could even drop a few crystals of ammo-lock, or similar ammonia neutralizing product, into the transport bag to detoxify any excess ammonia if it was a long trip home from the fish store. Next week, I'll have facts and information on handling aggressive fish and keeping them together.
Thank you, Aqua Alexa, for those amazing facts on acclimating new fish species. All right now it is time for my very fun Oasis Aquatics announcement.
So my name is Tom. I started fish keeping when my grandfather dug a fish tank out of the attic when I was about 5 years old.
So my name's Matt. I'm part of Oasis Aquatics. Been doing this for a long time. Started when I was about 7 years old. 22 years of doing this business.
I'm 29 years old now. I never stopped. There wasn't a day in between where I did not think about fish keeping.
I was doing a vet tech job for many years. Eventually I stopped that because this is my passion in my life.
Matt and I have known each other far too long, as many friendships should be.
And you're like, you know what? We need a fish store. There's no fish stores around here. So we had to make it easy access for everyone, to have many varieties from the little small stuff for everyone to the monster fish keeper people.
No matter what it is that you're looking to do, we can provide it for you.
I am very excited to share the news that our 100th episode of Saturday Live on June 29th is going to be sponsored by Oasis Aquatics. That's right, Oasis Aquatics is going to be sponsoring our 100th episode of Saturday Live, and it's going to be an incredible celebration as we celebrate 100 episodes of Saturday Live. It's all about Oasis Aquatics on June 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I am proud to announce that Oasis Aquatics is going to have a virtual store tour on the 100th episode of Saturday Live. The owner, Tom, is going to film a tour of Oasis Aquatics, and we're going to see it on the 100th episode of Saturday Live. Also, on the 100th episode of Saturday Live, we're going to have the very first Oasis Aquatics giveaway. Now, one lucky fish keeper will either win, and they get a choice. The winner will get a choice of either store credit or a wild-caught true South American parrot cichlid. So you're going to get the authentic, beautiful South American true parrot that I love very much, and I got from Oasis Aquatics a couple of months ago. So the winner of the Oasis Aquatics giveaway will have the choice of either store credit or the true wild-caught parrot. So to enter the Oasis Aquatics giveaway, all you have to do is tune in live on June 29th to the 100th episode of Saturday Live. And to top it all off, the main event of the 100th Saturday Live episode will be a Oasis Aquatics unboxing. I will be unboxing some new fish, including a Royal Pleco, a clown knife, a starry night cichlid, an Oranate biker, and God knows what else. I would like to say thank you to Tom McGuire and Oasis Aquatics for sponsoring the 100th episode of Saturday Live on June 29th. We've got the Oasis Aquatics store tour to look forward to. We've got the Oasis Aquatics giveaway to look forward to. And, of course, now we've got the Oasis Aquatics unboxing to look forward to. More details will be available in the upcoming month as we get closer to the 100th episode of Saturday Live. All right, right now it is time for my featured fish. And this week's featured fish is the beautiful Central American aggressive monster Dovii Cichlid. Let's learn about the Dovii Cichlid right now, shall we? Here live on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. It's time for this week's featured fish. It's Aqua Alex's featured fish. And this week I am featuring one of my favorite monster predatory cichlids. This monster cichlid comes to us from Central America. This week's featured fish here on Friday Live with Aqua Alex is the wolf cichlid, aka Parachromis dovii. I am a big fan of the Dovii Cichlid. I personally haven't kept the Dovii Cichlid because they are very aggressive. They are definitely a fish that should be kept alone because they have the possibility of killing any tank mates. But if you're looking for a very boisterous, aggressive, and personable fish, the Dovii Cichlid is certainly it. The Dovii Cichlid comes to us from Costa Rica and Honduras, as well as parts of Mexico. And there are rumors that the Parachromis dovii may be invasive here in Florida. But the only confirmed Parachromis sighting I have seen is Parachromis managuense, which is the jaguar cichlid. Now, the Parachromis dovii, aka wolf cichlid, can reach up to 30 inches in the aquarium hobby, nearly 3 feet. That's one of the largest cichlids in the world. Only the Temensis peacock bass and the emperor cichlid from South America and Africa, respectively, can reach a similar size. So the Dovii cichlid, a large, powerful, aggressive cichlid, and it has teeth like a wolf. So very cool fish. Now, Dovii cichlids start off as a gray, dull juvenile, but as they mature, they get a lot of great coloration. Blue coloration on a really cool body, really cool fish, and they get a nice cichlid hump the males get. Very, very cool. So with them growing to 30 inches, Dovies definitely require a large aquarium, at least 125 gallons and larger. And as I said earlier, they are extremely aggressive. So tank mates have to be other aggressive fish. I guess if you wanted to try tank mates, you can try Amphilophus red devil, Parachromis jaguar, and other aggressive Central American cichlids. And dither fish can be tinfoil barbs and silver dollars. But if you really want tank mates, your tank has to be huge, at least 180 to 220 gallons and larger. The larger the tank, the better, because the other fish have a chance to escape a aggressive, psychopathic Dovii cichlid. Dovies will eat anything from krill, shrimp, tilapia. Dovies are not picky like many other cichlids aren't either. I think you'll have a great time keeping and raising the Dovii cichlid. If you have any questions on the Dovii cichlids, post them in the comments below, and I will answer them on the show. That is this week's featured fish, the Dovii cichlid. Next week, we'll feature a Dovi's cousin, the Parachromis managuense, the jaguar cichlid. And yes, the Dovii cichlid is such a beautiful cichlid. It's a shame they are so damn aggressive. I've always wanted a Dovii cichlid, but I've always worried that it would kill my tank mates. Maybe I will try a Dovii cichlid in the future when I have spare aquariums lying around, because I think it would be pretty cool to raise a Dovii cichlid into adulthood. They are very beautiful. There is nothing more prettier in the cichlid world, in my eyes, than a very beautiful male Dovii cichlid. I really do like Dovii cichlids. They are an absolutely incredible fish. All right, right now it is time for the final Little Egypt Aquarium Club featured product segment. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. It is the final time I will get to mention Little Egypt Aquarium Club, because my friend and the founder of Little Egypt Aquarium Club, Jeremy Stellhorn, is closing it down, sadly. But he had a great run, and I'm very proud of my friend Jeremy Stellhorn. And he sold a lot of great products such as Rapashi. So the final featured product for Little Egypt Aquarium Club is going to be Rapashi Morningwood. Now, it has a funny name, but it is fish food. And Morningwood is perfect for fish that I like the royal plecos, or any Panicu pleco for that matter. So let's go over what is in the Morningwood food made by Rapashi. It is a balanced diet in gel form. It is high in fiber and plant proteins. It is ideal for feeding plecos over extended time. Repashy morning wood is perfect for getting more wood into your wood-eating fish's diet. This gel food is created using wood, cellulose, and extra gelling ingredients to ensure the prepared product is tough and rubbery for plecos and other wood-eating catfish to rasp on. This high-fiber meal is great for snails and other bottom dwellers as well. But it is perfect for Panacue plecos like the Royal Pleco, like your Watermelon Royal Pleco, like your L191 dual-eyed Royal Pleco. Your Panacues are going to love Repashy morningwood. Now, to make this for your fish, all you got to do is add a 1/4 cup of powder into 3/4 cup of cold water and stir until blended. Microwave until it starts to boil, which is typically 2 to 3 minutes, and then you're going to remove and stir. Alternatively, bring water to a boil on the stove, remove from heat, and stir in powder. Immediately pour into a storage container or mold and let sit at room temperature until firm. The finished gel can be cut into cubes, shredded, or used as a whole slab. Whatever is not used immediately should be treated as fresh food. It can be stored sealed in refrigerator for up to 2 weeks and in freezer for up to 6 months. To adjust firmness of gel, use more or less water as desired. And that is Repashy morningwood. I'm definitely going to be purchasing some Repashy morningwood when I get my Royal Pleco because I want my Royal Pleco to live a nice life. And I think Repashy morningwood would be a great diet for Royal Plecos. All right. Right now, we're going to get to our first of 2 topics for this week's Friday Live with Aqua Alex. And right now, we're going to talk about the most abused fish species in the aquarium hobby. Now, when I say most abused, I'm talking about fish that are relatively common and relatively easy to get. But unfortunately, that means they end up in the hands of beginners who aren't relatively knowledgeable in the aquarium hobby, and they might not realize the specific needs for this particular fish. So that's what I mean by the most abused fish. So now we're going to talk about the most abused fish species in the aquarium hobby. So coming in at number 1 would be bettas. Believe it or not, bettas are actually abused. You know, growing up in the 1990s, it was believed that bettas could actually thrive in a fish bowl with no filter. But technology has proven that bettas deserve to be in a small aquarium at least. Bettas deserve filtration and everything that other tropical fish get as well. Sure, they can survive without a filter temporarily, but filters keep your waters clean. So unfortunately, bettas aren't taken care of properly at pet stores, for example, because at places like Petco and PetSmart, they're often kept in little cups with dirty water that has a lot of ammonia buildup in there, and that ammonia buildup leads to ammonia burns, shredded fins, and then eventually a deceased betta. So unfortunately, although bettas are one of the more prettier fish and one of the more easy fish to keep, they are also one of the most abused, unfortunately. But we have technology, folks, so if you're interested in keeping bettas, I recommend doing a research on them. And I also recommend getting a small aquarium. There are nano desktop aquariums that have like 2 gallons. I think there's a 3-gallon, 5-gallon, all the way up to 20 gallons. So there's really no excuse anymore. We really shouldn't be keeping bettas in glass bowls anymore. Instead, we should be keeping them in some of those nice desktop aquariums. And I got to admit, those desktop aquariums are actually pretty nice, the ones that they have out there. Some of them come with gravel and all-in-one systems. They have filters built into them. So I think it really is affordable, and I think it's great for a betta. And you could possibly fit in some shrimp in there and maybe some smaller fish. But the next most abused fish in the aquarium hobby would be goldfish. Goldfish are another fish that at one point in time were very commonly kept in glass bowls. And that is a very, very big mistake. We definitely don't want to be keeping goldfish in glass bowls. A, because goldfish don't have any stomachs, so whatever they eat, they're going to produce a lot of waste in their feces, and it's going to create a lot of ammonia, and it's going to spoil the water quickly because there's no filtration, and your goldfish will die a lot quicker as well. So goldfish, really, they belong in ponds. The feeder goldfish you get for like 13 cents at your local pet store is going to get about 2 feet long, and they really belong in ponds. I don't know why people buy them as pets, maybe because they're so cheap. They really don't make great pets because they get so big. The fancy goldfish, on the other hand, like the orandas, the ryukins, etc., those are more suited for the pet hobby and for the fish keeping hobby. So I always tell beginners, stay away from the 13-cent feeder fish. Let them be sold for what they are. And they are terrible at that job as well because they have a fatty enzyme in them that often leads to liver diseases in most fish and hole in the head in things like cichlids and piranhas. But unfortunately, even the fancy goldfish get abused. Some people have put fancy goldfish in bowls as well. So it goes without saying that goldfish are definitely a fish that definitely need a large aquarium and large filtrations. The same can be said for Oscar cichlids. People see Oscar cichlids and beginners fall in love with them immediately because of their personality and their puppy dog look-likes. They're like an aquatic puppy. People fall in love with the Oscar's personality, but the fish store employee never tells them that Oscars can get 13, 14, 15, 16 inches in length, and they require a large aquarium, and they will eat anything that will fit in an Oscar's mouth. So unfortunately, a lot of people buy Oscar cichlids, and they don't realize what they got themselves into, and they're stuck with a large fish on their hands. And also, they don't realize that Oscars are messy eaters, which means the water is going to be polluted and it's going to be dirty water. And 9 times out of 10, Oscars that live in water that is polluted, they end up getting a hole in the head. Another major cause of hole in the head in Oscars is too much fatty foods like feeder goldfish. That's another reason why Oscars are so abused in the aquarium hobby. You'll see a lot of Oscars with hole in the head, and that's because of poor water quality, poor diet, and it's just terrible. So it's never a good idea to feed your Oscar too much live fish because it can lead to hole in the head. And then we've got blue hippo tangs. This is a saltwater fish that is one of the most abused marine fish in the aquarium hobby. Ever since Finding Dory came out almost 9 years ago, everyone has wanted a blue hippo tang, but they don't realize that blue hippo tangs get relatively large. They get up to a foot in length. Now, saltwater fish are a lot different than freshwater fish. The saltwater fish that get large, they are open swimmers, and they need a lot of swimming room. So that means a blue hippo tang ideally would be best in a 6-foot aquarium or larger. If they don't have the open swimming space, they stress easily and they get ick. And marine ick is totally different than freshwater ick, and it's something that I don't recommend beginners in saltwater getting themselves into. So blue hippo tangs are probably best reserved for the saltwater hobbyists that know what they're doing and know how big they get and know their care requirements, because a majority of the blue hippo tangs that are imported are going to die at the hands of a new fish keeper because they require a certain level of care and a lot of swimming space. And then we've got blood parrots. Blood parrots are abused because they are a genetically modified fish. They're a man-made hybrid. And unfortunately, because they're so hybridized, they have weakened immune systems. They can't chew food properly, which means they have a hard time eating. So it really is sad, but the blood parrot is abused because the blood parrot can't defend itself when it's thrown in a tank with other aggressive cichlids. And then we've got monster fish that find themselves abused because either the person that is buying the monster fish wasn't told how big they get, didn't do their research, or they had plans to upgrade, but they never did. So monster fish like pacus, iridescent sharks, red-tailed catfish, and tiger shovenos are often abused. And finally, common plecos. Common plecos are abused because people buy them thinking they're the overall solution for algae. They think they get a common pleco, it's going to take care of the algae in the aquarium. While common plecos do eat algae, they also are omnivorous and need other stuff in their diet as well. And that's why common plecos will usually start sucking on the slime of other fish or even eating dead fish. It's because they are lacking the excess protein they need in their diet. And plecos get massive. Common plecos can easily get 2.5 to 3 feet depending on the species. And those are the most abused fish in the aquarium hobby. A little bit later on in the show, I'm going to talk about the most underrated fish in the aquarium hobby. So before we move on to our next segment here, I'd like to remind anyone watching that you're welcome to come up on the show and chat tropical fish. All you've got to do is click that link in the YouTube chat, and you can come up here and chat tropical fish. But there is a very new promo that a good friend of mine wants me to play here on the show this evening. And it's a very cool promo, so let's check it out.
What does the word fair spell out? What does the word fair mean to pet keepers? It means fish, amphibians, inverts, and reptiles. Out with aquarium obsession and in with fair. Still the same great group, now with a new name to be inclusive to hobbyists from all areas of the pet hobby. Have tropical fish? Great. You are welcomed. Have amphibians? Awesome, you are welcomed. Have invertebrates like scorpions, crayfish, insects, and others? Great. Please come join the group and show them off. Have reptiles? You too are welcome. Share your fish, amphibians, inverts, and reptiles in the group. Ask questions and get help from experienced hobbyists. Plenty of fun group activities daily, such as YouTube Thursdays where fish keeping YouTubers can share their videos. Have aquarium supplies you want to sell? Check out our sister Facebook group, Fair Equipment and Supplies Sales Group. Check out and join our great Facebook groups, now inclusive to more pet hobbyists. Search on Facebook f.i.r/fish amphibian invertebrates reptiles for the main group, and f.i.r equipment and supplies sales group for the sales group to sell your pet supplies.
And as always, we are broadcasting live in the Facebook group, Fish, Amphibians, Inverts, and Reptiles. All right, right now it is time to welcome our super surprise special guest. Earlier in the day, I announced we were going to have a special guest, and our special guest is another blast from the past. I had this guy on my fish keeping podcast, Aquatic Wetline, a couple of years ago. His name is Gabriel Gomez, and he is a cichlid lover. Here is just a 10-minute preview of the interview Gabriel and I had, where Gabriel discussed how he got into the aquarium hobby and his love of cichlids. The full interview is available here on my YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale.
And that's what started everything. I started out with tetras, rams, and basically just fell in love with the whole ecosystem you create in a tank. So I started to get into bigger tanks, and I started basically, how do you say? Oh my God, my mind went blank there for a moment. I actually got into researching all different types of fish, especially cichlids. I fell in love with cichlids, especially South America. And that's what I've been keeping now. And I got to a point where I got to 13 tanks.
Nice, that's a lot of fish tanks.
Yeah, a lot of maintenance. Wasn't easy. But still, when you love something and you do it out of pleasure, it's not really work. To me, it was my time with the fish. Like that personal connection you have with them, making sure all the water parameters are correct, keeping their water clean, making sure the filters are working correctly. So there's so much to it that I had to learn even water chemistry.
That's very true. That's the best thing about the aquarium hobby is it's fun and you learn a lot as you go.
Yeah, no, I made a lot of rookie mistakes. I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, I have killed a lot of fish. I'm not proud of it, but it's part of the learning curve. I mean, the thing is not to get discouraged from it. Because, I mean, at the beginning, you're going to have losses, but that's how you actually learn. You learn from the mistake you made. Like, my first mistake was overpopulating a 20-gallon tank. I mean, and I didn't even cycle it, my first tank. So that was my first pretty much lesson there. And my biggest advice to anyone starting the hobby: cycle your tank. Not just throw fish in there. And make sure the fish you're putting in it are adequate for the size of your tank.
Very well said, because a lot of people like to throw Oscars and Pacus and things of that nature in small tanks.
I would say that Oscars, Pacus, Green Terrors, Red Devils, Midas are the ones that people make the biggest mistakes with. I'd say it's the most common one I see. And it's very abusive for the fish. Plus, keeping the water parameters in the small tank is a lot harder than a bigger tank. Maintenance in a bigger tank is a lot easier, even though it's a bigger tank. But my trick is overfiltration. Never go wrong.
I agree with you 100% on that. So what kind of fish do you keep?
Well, right now I keep a couple different species. Most are cichlids. I mean, I'd say about 90% of them. So I have a discus tank. I have 5 discus there from Jack Watley. I've grown them since about 3 inches. Now they're hitting at least 5 inches. They're starting to pair up. I also have flower horns. That's my passion. I love flower horns because they are the most unpredictable fish you can have. Because they will look one way when they're young, but as they grow, they go through so many mutations that it's incredible to watch them grow, especially when you see before and after pictures. And not only that, their personality. They actually interact with you. Like, they get to know you. My flower horn reacts to me. Anyone else who gets close to it, it'll hide or it'll get aggressive. It all depends. So fish are pretty smart, especially cichlids. Then I also I have a breeding pair of Cuban cichlids, which I fell in love with because of their pattern, their color, and the scarcity of Cuban cichlids. I mean, you don't see them abundant in local fish shops, so it's a pretty rare fish. You mostly got to get them from a local breeder or order them online. And my dream is to actually cross a flower horn with a Cuban cichlid and be able to make a full black and white flower horn. But it's not that simple. Breeding fish is something that is quite difficult when you're into South American central cichlids and hybrids because of their aggressiveness. If they don't pair, either the female won't like him and attack him and he will eventually kill her, or if the female's too big, she'll eventually kill the male. And I also have one Midas. It's a pure Midas, one of the very few Midas breeders that has a pair from Jeff Rapps. Jeff Rapps, as we know, is very well known for pure South American and Central cichlids. And that is, I'd say, my second prized fish. Very nice male. He's about 5 inches now. Just working on him, keeping him as comfortable and healthy as possible. Because they're not easy to come by.
That's awesome. So you have quite the collection. The Cuban cichlids are very nice. They're a very nice rare cichlid, and Midas are very cool as well.
Yeah, no, Midas and the Cuban cichlids, to me, they're, you know, Discus are known as the king of the hobby, but I would still put Midas, Cubans, and flower horns up there. To me, my top 5 are flower horn, Discus, Cuban cichlids, Midas, and it's rare for me to say, but I love Rams.
That's awesome. So that brings me to my next question. What do you like about cichlids?
Well, most cichlids have the same or similar personality as a flower horn. Since a flower horn is a hybrid that does come from South American and Central cichlids, they have their own personality. They interact with you. Like, you can play with them around with your hands. You can throw like toys into the tank, and they're very interactive. And also, I like the size they get. I mean, when you're looking at South American cichlids, not South American that much, but more of the Central American cichlids, Texas, Midas, Red Devils, they grow. People don't see that, but these fish can reach up to 13, 14 inches easily. Like I said, my friend that had Midas from Jeff Rapps, that his name was, the Midas name was Sosa, rest in peace. That guy was a good 14 inches. And he was a beauty. And his personality was amazing. But luckily, we have his offspring, so we're capable of producing more of Sosa's offspring. So he still lives on.
That's good. He must have been an incredible looking fish.
Oh, he was. I can send you pictures of him, and it'll mind blow you, because he was creamsicle color. I don't know if you're.
All right, that was 10 minutes with our special guest that I interviewed a couple of years ago. Gabriel Gomez. The rest of the interview is available on my YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale. And creamsicle Midas is one of my favorite Midas color, red and white. And there's also creamsicle Red Devils as well. All right, right now it is time for Aqua Alex's featured aquarium product. And this week I actually happen to have this product on hand because I use it in all of my filters in my 125. I was going to say I use it in all my aquariums, but currently I only have one aquarium running, but soon I'll have a couple more. But we are going to be talking about Seachem Matrix. And I still have this bottle and another one, so I've got plenty of Matrix to last me a while. I like to add this to all my filters, whether it be hang-in-the-back filters or canister filters. Basically, what this does is it makes your water safe for fish. So it breaks down the bad stuff in the water, like ammonia. It breaks down all of the bad bacteria that if it gets to certain levels to become deadly to your fish. Well, Seachem Matrix makes sure that that doesn't happen in your aquarium. So let me just go over some information on Seachem Matrix from their website themselves. I really recommend Seachem Matrix. It is a high capacity biofiltration. It controls ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. It is highly porous, and it has an enormous surface area. So it's greater than 700 meters. It supports aerobic and anaerobic bacteria species. Matrix is a high porosity biomedia that provides efficient biofiltration for the removal of nitrogenous waste. Matrix is a porous inorganic solid about 10 millimeters in diameter. Each liter of Matrix provides as much surface area as 170 liters of plastic balls. Plastic biomaterials provide only external surface area, whereas Matrix provides both external and internal macroporous surface area. These macropores are ideally suited for the support of nitrifying and denitrifying bacteria. This allows Matrix, unlike other forms of biomedia, to remove nitrate along with ammonia and nitrite simultaneously and in the same filter. Matrix is completely inert and will not break down. It need not be replaced. Since the majority of the bacteria are internal, Matrix may be rinsed when needed without damaging the filter. Matrix is compatible with all types of wet or wet-dry filters. Boy, oh boy, you gotta love Seachem Matrix. And that is this week's featured aquarium product. I highly recommend it. Last week we talked about Seachem Prime, and I greatly recommend Seachem Prime as well. But in your filters, you should include Seachem Matrix. All right. Well, tonight we are hosting Friday Live with Aqua Alex. This is actually a spin-off of my ever so popular Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale. And here is what you can expect this coming Saturday, tomorrow night on Saturday Live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It'll be the very first live stream of June. And then I'm going to play what you can expect on the 100th Saturday Live.
On the next Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale, it's time to kick off a new month. It's the first Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale of June, and it's going to be a good show. What questions will Alex answer on Mailbag with Alex Cardinale? What's the hap and current happenings? The animal of the world is the elephant. The Oasis Aquatics featured fish is the chili red Dovii Cichlid. Aqua Alex's featured fish is the vampire pleco. South Florida local will feature a pet store in Green Acres, Florida that sells tropical fish, birds, small mammals, reptiles, and their supplies. The South Florida local featured business will be Mark's Ark Pet Shop. Sergeant Slaughter will have facts on MGM Springfield and Facebook. Plus, New York Yankees Spotlight, funny videos, Karens of the Week, and so much more. Live this Saturday, June 1, 2024 at 9 p.m. Eastern 6 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale and Twitch Real Alex Cardinale 1993.
Alex Cardinale invites you to the 100th episode of Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale. The 100th Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale airs Saturday, June 29, 2024 at a special start time of 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a party and lots of fun to celebrate 100 episodes of Saturday Live. 100th Saturday Live is being sponsored by Oasis Aquatics, and there will be an Oasis Aquatics giveaway. One fish keeper will walk away with a special prize. There will also be an Oasis Aquatics store tour. Aqua Alex welcomes 2 fish keepers to the party as special guests. Jeremy Lady and Brandon King will chat fish keeping with Aqua Alex on 100th Saturday Live. Plus, special cameo appearances. Chef Alex will be on hand to make homemade red velvet cake perfect for 4th of July festivities. All that and more. 100 Saturday Live airs Saturday, June 29, 2024 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel The Real Alex Cardinale.
That's right. We're about 4 weeks away from June 29th and the 100th Saturday Live. I cannot wait for our 100th episode of Saturday Live. And now I present to you here on Friday Live with Aqua Alex, the Oasis Aquatics featured fish. This is a new segment here on Friday Live. We're going to do Oasis Aquatics featured fish on both Friday and Saturday Live. Well, here is this week's Oasis Aquatics featured fish here on Friday. Hey, everyone. Live. Oops. So here is this week's Oasis Aquatics featured fish. Hey everyone, Aqua Alex Cardinale here, bringing you this week's featured fish from the Oasis Aquatics stock list. Check out Oasis Aquatics' current stock list by going to oasisaquaticsnj.com. This week we are featuring the Rio Nene Ultim Angel, one of the more beautiful freshwater angelfish available in the aquarium hobby. One of the more important things to know about the Rio Nene Ultim Angel is that it's not a true Petrophyllum ultim. Rather, the Rio Nene Ultim Angel is a wild-caught variant of Petrophyllum scalar. It is a wild-caught Petrophyllum scalar from the Rio Nene region of Peru. But the scalar angelfish are very beautiful. I love the looks of wild-caught scalar angelfish, and the Rio Nene scalar angels are very beautiful. They have turquoise blue, yellow coloration, and beautiful stripes and spots. So the wild-caught scalar angelfish live in South America. You'll find them in Peru, Colombia, and Brazil. And obviously, the most colorful wild-caught scalar angels come from Rio Nene. The scalar angels are the angelfish that are most frequently found in the aquarium hobby. They are captive bred. They are more captive bred than their Leopoldi, and Altum counterparts. But I really do love wild-caught Petrophyllum scalar angels. Scalar angelfish can reach about 6 to 8 inches in length. They can be kept together. They do enjoy their company. But if you're going to keep more than one angelfish together, I recommend buying them at the same time or at a similar size. They do well in tanks as large as a 55-gallon aquarium and larger, very hardy fish, very easy to keep. They will eat anything from bloodworms, flakes, good quality pellet foods, to even market shrimp and tilapia. You should not have a problem keeping angelfish in your freshwater aquarium. Just give them a large tank like a 55-gallon and have a neutral pH, 6.4 to 7.4, because that's what their natural water is like in South America. So if you're looking for some beautiful wild-caught Rio Nene angelfish, get some juveniles at a great price, just $15, which is a really great price for a wild-caught Rio Nene angel. Available right now at oasisaquaticsnj.com. And that is this week's featured Oasis Aquatics fish. All righty. Right now it is time for our final topic for the evening. And my last topic for tonight is going to be underrated fish species in the aquarium hobby. In other words, I'm going to be talking about fish species available in the aquarium hobby that I think are underrated. And these are just my personal opinion. You may agree with me or you may disagree with me. It's just my personal opinion. But I really feel that red hook silver dollars are very underappreciated and underrated in the aquarium hobby. I think red hook silver dollars have a great color. They look like piranhas. They look like pacus, but they don't get as big as pacus, and they can be kept with other fish, unlike piranhas. I also say that silver dollars in general are underrated and underappreciated. Silver dollars in general are a great dither fish, and they go great in almost any aquarium. And then we've got the true South American parrot cichlid. I really feel like the true South American parrot cichlid is underappreciated and underrated. Whether that's because they are seasonally available and not often available in the aquarium hobby, or if it's because they're kind of expensive. But I think people should really consider keeping the true South American parrot cichlid. They're definitely a fun South American cichlid. From my experience with the true South American parrot cichlid, they're very simple to keep, very easy to keep, same care as an Oscar, a chocolate, or a Severum. I also would say that the chocolate cichlid is also underappreciated and underrated. And then for catfish, Lima shovelnose seem to be underappreciated because they are a mini monster because they get about 18 inches, but they can be kept in large aquariums, whereas catfish like tiger shovelnose and red-tailed cats, they need ponds. A Lima shovelnose will thrive in a 6-foot aquarium or larger. And then we've got the Festivum cichlid, the cichlid that looks like a gourami. I think the Festivum cichlid is one of the fish that is often slept on in the aquarium hobby. They're very, very cool fish. And finally, we've got the Geophagus turripari. Some people think of them as plain looking, but there are very beautiful Geophagus turripari out there, like the Santa Perca leocoustica. So those are the fish that I feel are underrated in the aquarium hobby. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on fish that you think are underrated in the aquarium hobby down in the comments below. Wow, what a great show so far. I'm having a blast here on Friday Live with Aqua Alex. But next Friday, we're going to kick off June with another incredible episode of Friday Live. Next Friday, we're going to debut some new segments here on Friday Live. Tonight, we retired the Little Egypt Aquarium Club featured product segment, but next week on our 4th episode of Friday Live, a couple of new segments will be debuting. On the next Friday Live with Aqua Alex Cardinale, we kick off the month of June. Live Friday, June 7th, 2024 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's an all-new Friday Live with Aqua Alex. There will be a couple of new segments debuting on Friday Live with Aqua Alex on the next episode. One of those new segments is Featured Fish Keeper, and our very first featured fish keeper will be Daryl Shorts. See Daryl's amazing aquariums. Another new segment debuting on the next Friday Live will be Fishy Flashback Friday, where I, Aqua Alex, will play segments from my old fish keeping videos. Also, Aqua Alex's featured fish of the week will be the Jaguar cichlid. Aqua Alexa's aquarium facts and tips will be on handling fish aggression and keeping aggressive fish together. There will be a special surprise guest. The Aqua Alex featured aquarium product is Seachem tidal filters. All that and more live this Friday, June 7th, 2024, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Friday Live with Aqua Alex on YouTube channel, The Real Alex Cardinale, and Twitch, Real Alex Cardinale 1993. All right, and now it's time for our main event for this week's episode of Friday Live with Aqua Alex. And I'm going to conclude this episode like I'm going to conclude every episode of Friday Live. Here is this week's Aqua Alex's message for the fish keepers. Feed quality fish food. Make sure you are feeding your fish quality fish food. I'm sure that you eat quality human food. Well, make sure your fish are getting quality fish food. And make sure you're doing your water changes. Also, support your local fish stores. Your local fish stores that are run by fish keepers are the best. So make sure you're supporting them. And support local online fish stores that are run by aquarium hobbyists as well. Keep the fish you like and keep the fish that you want to keep. Never listen to anyone else. And fish keepers, let's support each other in the aquarium hobby. Well, that is this week's episode of Friday Live with Alex. I would like to say thank you to all the fish keepers who watched tonight's episode. Whether you're catching the replay or you're watching live, I greatly appreciate your view. Happy fish keeping, everybody, and I will see you next Friday, June 7th, for our next episode of Friday Live. Have a great weekend, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.
Thank you very much for watching this live stream of the Real Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed the show. I want to thank you all for your patronage for the last 10 years. It's going to be incredible riding into the future with more awesome live streams and videos. Aqua Alex Cardinale, Chef Alex Cardinale, WWE fan Alex Cardinale, Detective Alex Cardinale, and the Real Alex Cardinale would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this live stream, please smash that like button. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button and become a legendary viewer and a legendary Cardinale. Check out the Real Alex Cardinale on social media. Facebook Alex Cardinale, American Alex. Instagram instagram.com/Alex Cardinale 93. Fish keepers, please join our amazing Facebook fish keeping group Aquarium Obsession. Check out and support Oasis Aquatics, our amazing supporter since July of 2023. www.oasisaquaticsnj.com. Follow Oasis Aquatics on Facebook and Instagram. Have a good night and thanks for watching. Stay legendary.